So during the reading of Starry Messenger, or after, here are some questions that you can talk to your child about. So we created a timeline while we read the book, the important events in history. And then I'm thinking about how I can use the information that is in the text and graphics to help me write something for our timeline. What do you think we could write? So some of the examples would be people thought that the Earth was at the center of the universe. People thought the sun, moon, and other planets revolved around the Earth. People thought the Earth stood still. And Ptolemy was a person who thought the Earth was in the middle of the sun and the other planets. Page 2. The author tells us that one man thought about the Earth and sun differently. What did this man think? Does the author tell us who this man is? Look more closely at the text features and see if we can figure out his name. Page 6. The author includes a lot of information about Galileo on this page. That makes me think that Galileo is an important person. What event, then, can I add to our timeline? Here is another place where the illustrations and other text feature help us make meaning of the text. Does the text say that what instrument was used? What instrument was used to see things from far away? What clues are in the words and graphics to help us figure it out? Talk with a partner and be prepared to explain how you figured out what the instrument was. What event can we add to our timeline? So page 14, Night After Night. Who do you think the author means by someone else and why? What does the information on page 21 and the last page tell us about how people were thinking about Earth and space during this time? So then, what could we add to our timeline? Page 23. What's happening now? How are people's ideas changing? Let's add that to our timeline. And page 30. What does the text tell us about how people think about Galileo now? What can we write as the final event on our timeline? The author doesn't tell us why the church changed its mind, but we can make an inference. What do you think could have caused the church to say Galileo was right? Okay. So after you all have discussed the questions and created the timeline or studied the timeline, you're going to complete task 10. So independently, task 10 is asking you to pretend you have been asked to write an informational piece that explains how people's beliefs about the Earth and Sun have changed over time for the local planetarium to display at their new exhibit. You need to include your topic, supply some facts about the topic, use specific vocabulary and names from the text, and provide a sense of closure. So an example of what I would be looking for on this task completion would be a paragraph along these lines. Of course, on a first grade level, your child not copying exactly what I have written, but their own thoughts and ideas about this story. and about the beliefs of the earth and sun and how that has changed. So people's ideas about space have changed over time. Long ago, people thought the earth was in the middle of the universe. Copernicus thought the sun was at the center, but he couldn't prove it. Then Galileo came and used his observations to show the people the earth revolved around the sun. Some people didn't like Galileo's ideas and kept believing the earth was at the center. But now everyone agrees the earth revolves around the sun.